Trouble yourself not with the cost of this crusade. Its noble end affords you broad tolerance in your choice of means.
Let us continue playing Darkest Dungeon, and the Darkest Shadowhawk estate has now unlocked the sanatorium, which is helpful because we have a few insane people. Just FYI, I'm actually recording this after the fact because the original audio kind of balked on this and actually the next video. So, huzzah! So as you can see, we got Disastrous and Maritian who are extremely stressed and actually suffering penalties now at this stage. We need deeds and portraits at this stage. Maritian is close to himself. Sometimes they will occasionally do that by themselves. I think I actually set that up at the end of the last video though. Shadowhawk, of course, is currently God-fearing and so can only pray, which currently means, because of the various stuff and things, I can't actually assist there. However, getting rid of Kleptomaniac would not be a bad thing at all, because that means at least we get a chance to get some more gold. Do I actually do anything here? I want to get rid of the yips for Maritian, because an accuracy penalty is not, generally speaking, something you want to keep. Especially you don't want it to turn into a severe one, because it costs a lot more to get rid of. As you can see there, I'm getting rid of Kleptomaniac, 4,500. Getting rid of a normal sort of negative tick is only about 1,300. Still, let's prevent myself from being a thief, and that will mean I'm less likely to steal items in the future. Now, for Abomination and Plague Doctor, we don't particularly need. But what we do need is some deeds so I can increase the size of the roster, in case we get some extra classes. There's a couple of classes I do want, which we haven't seen yet. Cultist is my personal favourite in terms of what's useful to the party, but we'll make do with what we got. So, for this one, we will take a... I think we are taking a Tofu Boy here. Sorry, it's been a few days since I recorded this. I only just realised that actually that the audio didn't record when I went to edit, which is why I'm having to do this. And it's something I hate doing, but it probably means there's other videos I've missed somewhere in the XCOM series. Again, we'll see. It happens, but I didn't batch record, which is why I tend to miss these things when they happen. So, Little Debbie, I think the upgrading here is kind of important. There's a few things we definitely do want, and the healing certainly up to 4 to 6, always kind of worth it. Any extra healing you can do is worth it. And I'm also going to upgrade Kitsuna, am I? Reduce blight resist, increase damage percentage. I have no idea what I was debating here. Obviously, I'm looking at just getting a few increase in stats, especially ones that will increase blight efficiency and increase the transformation. Yeah, if I'm slightly stronger as a beast, that's going to be helpful. So, Kitsuna. And here's something I wasn't aware of at the time, but there are certain classes that will not work with each other. Now, there's no flaws to say this, but a Vestal will not work with an Abomination. So hence, we have to change up. So Tarquin, put you there, and because we got a party of like that, the option here is between Birchdraw and a Plague Doctor, and I figure for a new mission, we'll test out the Grave Robber. And of course some usual trinket sorcery here, especially for the one we got which reduces stress. Probably the most useful single thing I've picked up in this entire playing of this game. that array box. It's going to be especially vital when we get to the things that really cause sanity troubles. And they're coming up, actually. We are approaching boss areas at a reasonably quick rate. But we do need more levels to make that work for us. Future plans, future plans. And here I fail to notice that I say Crusader only on that one. One thing I should probably do at some stage is sell some of these off, and that's largely because they're actually worth a reasonable amount of gold, and having a gold reserve is probably important for reasons that will become clear soon. I think the main reason for it is it does cost a lot to go on provisions, and unless you're successful, you won't get the money back. So having some money in reserve means you can afford to fail, and you kind of need to plan to fail in this game, I think. Unless you want to send your adventurers out with no torches and no food in the future, which will, yeah, send everybody mad. So, with that all done, let's head to the Woodland. The usual provisions include a lot of food, 3 sets of full eating there. I take an extra shovel to the Woodland, and the only reason I take the extra shovel is because there are various graves we can dig up. But we do have a grave robber, so I don't know. Oh boy, 2,790 gold in reserve. We are well stocked. Let's get out there and do things. I was explaining something here. This is why I hate this. I'm happy to waffle on while I'm actually explaining things and doing things, but I can't explain what I was explaining at the time.
Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
So 90% of the rooms, and as you can see, it's you set us at the end of one of the tails. Unfortunately, this means I can't go all the way up there. I have to go and do these 2 rooms first. So off we go. Into the corrupted woodland. And some bandits. Beginning with some bile, because if you can put some plague, if you can put some plague on them, it's always worth trying. Now, Vegetable from there has a lunge effect, which causes him to actually attack and move forward. We don't want to do that, so we're going to go for poison darts and just get another bit of blight going. So all of them are now suffering 3 damage per round. And we hate blanket fire. So lower dodge rate, and also everybody is hit for some damage. It's at this point it occurs to me I don't actually have a healer. So the Bounty Hunter has the ability to mark targets and then do extra damage to them with the Collect Bounty effect. However, the Collect Bounty can still work as is. So let's go, maybe not. Extra damage versus stunned. So sort of we have to hit some status effects, and it's sort of a 2-step program here. Use one to mark or stun, and then hit him with the other attack. So he's now marked. It means he's easier to target, and he can't. Easier to target. Let's just go with a. Going with breakthrough. No suffering plague damage. I'm hoping to get them just about low enough to for that to be lethal. And a shift. Not a severe one though, because both of those can act in the front row. So, Katina does have some healing, and that's probably a silly idea at that point, but the only thing else I could do was transform, which I don't want to do just yet. That attack makes them all basically dead. We just have to wait for the thing. And they go for a lunge. So he moves 2 spaces forward when he lunges, but does have a good attack. As a downside note, everybody else is kind of critical in position. Okay, so we got some gold, we got some busts. Let's go and forget that I have a bleeding effect currently on Tarquin. But that's dealt with now. So, let's go grave digging. A couple of busts and some low-grade treasures. Open the door. So, no encounter in the first room, which is good. And plan to get through this as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, we're now about to use our second shovel up.
Yourself, a victim to the spreading corruption, malformed with misintent.
And some sacks, which give us some small amount of gold. At this stage, I'm actually quite concerned that I didn't bring enough torches. Because we're already down by 2. And now we're backtracking. So it's not absolutely essential to have light. I mean, it does give you bonuses for... It's quite a good set of bonuses, actually, in light. But there are some advantages to being in the dark as well. You have increased critical chance. Monsters also have increased chance to surprise you, unfortunately. So there's downsides as well, but it's not entirely downsides if it gets to too dark. Provided you don't worry about stress. So, 6 rooms to go, and then I encounter this. And I had not seen this before. It is the Shambler's Altar. Place a torch if you create the void. And you know what? I hadn't seen what happened here. And now we regret it. We have just... Alright, first off, the torch is extinguished. This is what happens when the torch gets extinguished. Secondly, I made an attack there. Now, what I should have done is really just tried and swap people around. Because we're pretty much out of position. We mark it for death on the basis that we got a bounty hunter, let's make a bounty. Wicked Hack is my most powerful ability, but I was tempted to have a go at a stun attack. Anyway, there's 6. It's got 77. And also it has a high protection, which means it absorbs blight damage. So best way to deal with it is with sort of bleed and blight, where possible. But it's got blight resistance. So now we are in trouble. Especially as Kitsuna was just hit for that. We are suffering mass stress because it's complete darkness. And as already mentioned, we have no healer. Thankfully, we can cure things, but only on himself. Right, I decided screw it at this point. We're going to transform. So we're going for the attack boost, and we're going to slam this thing. And it didn't work. Also noting that that actually moved him forward a space, which is a little annoying because we actually have... because we would prefer our Hellion to be at the front. Also annoying, now that we got them in the way, my collect bounty doesn't work. Still, it's a hammer attack. And we get a few virtue points back. Breakthrough for 4 and 2. Yep, it screeched at us, shuffles the party back, and huzzah, we're in a bad way. The only good news about this is that we have picked to the face.
Their formation is broken.
And that brings that back to the front. Kitsuna, unfortunately, is out of position. My heart will burst. So I'll go for the stun attack on the hope that it might actually work. He's actually got 100% stun resistance. I should have checked that. But things begin. We actually managed a critical hit there. We're taking him down 17 hit points. And he's not doing that much damage. Causing massive bleed effects, though. At this stage, I should have tried running. I know the icon isn't highlighted there. It's in the upper left. This is where I should have run. Instead, I figure, you know what? We're losing horribly. Let's see if we can still fight this thing. Unfortunately, this is really now quite bad. So first off, he goes selfish, returns to human, and restores some hit points. And now we've hit him finally with some blight, so he's now going to start suffering some damage over time. but not enough. Not enough. Again, go for breakthrough. I know the things have low health at the front, and we managed a critical anyway. More virtue. I need a healer. I bleed. And we go for... I don't know why I'm going flashbang. I suppose I haven't noticed stun resistance. I think this is where I start looking. I actually have a look at it in a moment.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Okay. So we have a selfish person, which causes everybody else to suffer increased stress damage. We have pitch black, which causes us to have additional stress damage. And also, we have a pick to the face for 10. I think if... The thing is, this is still looking kind of possible to me. I don't know why it is, but...
Slowly, gently.
Well, we've got him under blight. He's on nearly half health. This, though, I think is the point where things go wrong. This is the first time in the LP the hero has got to 0 health. This means they are suffering massive negative effects to all skills, and any further hits they take have a chance of being lethal hits. At this stage, I should really have run away. I should also have gone for increased bile if I was going to continue this. We have a weak manacle attack. I know it doesn't really do a lot. It's a stun attack, really. Topherway is now at death's door.
Facing the abyss.
So we have 2 on death's door, lots of blight damage and bleed damage on both of those people. Bertrador's now on death's door. I think I might have assumed that it was actually not possible to flee from this. So yes, we're massively taking retreat from combat.
But the battle may yet be won.
Topherway's resolve is tested after that. We get additional stress for fleeing battles. And we abandon the quest.
Do not ruminate on this fleeting failure. The campaign is long, and victory will come.
Well, we're not so sure of that. So Tarquin is the first to fall. We managed to get a couple of nice advantages there. Kitsuna with an accuracy boost, but fascinated by corpses. Could have gone worse.
Curiosity, interest, and obsession.
So,
Mild
our first failure
road to damnation.
of the Let's Play. It will not be the last, I promise you that. So, with Tarquin falling, we now have somebody in the graveyard, finally. We have 3,110 gold. And that means we do not have a lot of spare cash for going and doing... Handmasters are useful here. But we don't have a lot of spare cash for healing stress at this stage.
A lawman and his faithful beast. A bond forged by battle and bloodshed.
Right, so... We also have a specific trinket which only works on Houndmasters. But they're quite useful classes, in fairness. So next time, we will do more Darkest Dungeon, and we hope for a little more success, but without the cash to help out at the moment. So, until next time.